Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Amy, and I'm the owner of CrossFit, Underdog Union, and CUU Nutrition. I'm a certified nutrition coach with Healthy Steps Nutrition, and we are here today to talk to you a little bit about the 4 foundations for hormone health. Finally, there is a conversation happening about hormones. The concept is actually everywhere. Google it, you'll get all sorts of information come up. But what does it all really mean? Well, we're going to explore that a bit more. Welcome to our talk on hormone health and how it impacts our well being. Until recently, there's been very little in the way of recognizing how integral hormones are to our bodies and our minds. They play a huge role in regulating our mood, energy, and metabolism. When our hormones are in balance, they create this beautiful symphony in our body, and they are the directors. But if one goes out of balance, it leads to a cascade of events that does everything it can possibly do to create havoc in our bodies. So today we're going to take a closer look at the 4 foundations for hormone health and how a holistic approach can help us live in hormone harmony. CUU, CrossFit Underdog Union, has partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition to support our clients using a framework that's guided, tested, and proven. We believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know helping you become the best and healthiest version of yourself isn't just about what you eat. And it isn't about how many hours you go to the gym during the week. We need to focus on a holistic approach addressing lifestyle, sleep, mindset, stress management, and of course, nutrition and exercise as well. Now, while we know this sounds simple, it's far from easy. With all the misinformation out there regarding the best diets, the best foods, and the best exercise programs, it's no wonder we get overwhelmed and at times just ready to give up. So let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Did you know that our body produces 50 different hormones that regulate many processes? You name it, and one hormone or more is probably regulating it. So, with so many hormones circulating in our body, understanding what hormones are and how they work is a great place to start. To simplify a pretty complex topic, the endocrine system is the ultimate communication system. And you can see I've got our little glands on the endocrine system down there in the corner. The endocrine system has various glands that make and send hormones. Hormones are basically chemical messengers that travel through our bloodstream and deliver different messages to different cells and different organs. Simply put, hormones tell our cells what to do. They're like little messengers that are working hard to keep the body balanced in every aspect, from reproductive function to sleep and stress and mood. Generally speaking, the body does a pretty good job of keeping things in balance, but hormones can easily be disrupted due to many factors, such as consuming highly processed foods or ultra processed foods, high amounts of sugar, a sedentary lifestyle, high stress and inflammation, disrupted sleep, and environmental toxins. Now, in the pursuit of achieving hormonal balance naturally, the first step in the right direction often involves using the HSN holistic approach, where we look at factors such as lifestyle, nutrition, stress levels, sleep, and overall well-being. Once we begin to examine each of these factors more closely, you'll notice that each one affects the other through 4 key foundations. Now let's dive in and consider one small step we can take to create a positive cascade for our health. Number 1, so our foundation number 1 is gut health. Did you know 80% of our immune system resides in our guts? The gut is your gateway to the immune system. Trillions of immune cells line your GI tract and serve as the first line of defense against viruses and bacteria. This is known as your gut microbiome, which is made up of good and bad bacteria. The more good we have, the healthier we are. But when our gut is imbalanced, problems will arise. So, what factors influence gut health? Environmental toxins, diet, stress, and medications like antibiotics. They can create havoc on the gut by irritating the gut lining. The irritation may lead to inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, and a host of health issues, including hormone imbalances. Here's how our hormones can be affected. Estrogen levels. When we have too much estrogen, it may lead to heavy periods and also contribute to the long-term risk of conditions such as uterine fibroids or even breast cancer. Cortisol levels. So when the gut is constantly inflamed, it messes with our stress managing hormone, cortisol. And then, of course, our sex hormones. Chronic inflammation may disrupt estrogen and testosterone. The second foundation I want to talk about is our liver health. Did you know your liver is your natural detox organ for your body? So while your liver does not make any hormones, the liver acts as a processor for regulating and directing hormones to their assignments in the body. The liver makes sure the hormones are properly metabolized. So where does the detox come into the picture? Well, the liver helps regulate hormones and excretes the body's excess hormones. The liver also aids in manufacturing of testosterone and estrogen, so pretty critical. And why is that important to note? If your liver is unable to be efficient because it's bogged down by excess hormones, unable to process quickly, it can create hormonal imbalances. There are two particular hormones that are processed in the liver I'd like to talk about right now, and those are ghrelin and leptin. They're both hormones processed in the liver and act as opposing players in the regulation of hunger, feeling full, and energy expenditure. Leptin reduces appetite and feelings of hunger, while ghrelin increases appetite and food intake and reduces our metabolic rate. So, if we're not sleeping well, our liver is not able to process those, and you can see how we get those imbalances. Think about your liver health. What can you make for a change today? One thing you may consider is reducing alcohol. By reducing your alcohol intake, it'll allow a more streamlined pathway through your liver. Also, reduce the amount of plastics that you reheat your food in. When you are reheating foods in plastic, these plastic contains ingredients such as BPA and phthalates that imitate estrogen. By using glass containers, it will help eliminate the excess of estrogen buildup. Foundation number three is blood sugar balance. Constant ebbs and flows in your blood sugar are natural, but you want to keep it as stable as possible, not to create havoc on your adrenal glands due to unnecessary stress. Insulin is a hormone that helps with the uptake of glucose to be used as energy from carbohydrates. By reducing excess blood sugar and insulin secretion into the body, you can avoid storing glucose as fat that ends up around the abdomen and causes further hormonal imbalances. Here are a few tips to help keep your blood sugar balanced throughout the day to avoid those spikes. Pair protein with every meal and snack. Go for a 15-minute walk after meals. Consume low glycemic index carbs. Minimize added sugar from foods and beverages, and eat every 3 to 4 hours. Regularly implementing these action steps in the long term will help with blood sugar balance. And foundation number four is inflammation. Inflammation is key in hormone health. Understanding what foods your body has trouble processing and limiting those foods will help you fight inflammation. This means avoiding and significantly reducing foods such as processed meats. You ask, what exactly is processed meats? Well, those are meats that have been preserved or modified to improve taste or shelf life. Avoiding those sugar-sweetened beverages and foods high in salt and trans fat will also help decrease overall inflammation. Shooting for 20 plus different produce each week will help provide your body with nutrients to help fight off inflammation. Here are the top 5 inflammation fighting foods to consider having weekly. Number 1 is berries. 2, leafy greens such as broccoli and spinach. Number 3, fatty fish that are wild caught, such as salmon or mackerel, or my favorite, sockeye salmon. 4 would be turmeric, which is a spice, and number 5 is tomatoes. So even low levels of inflammation can disrupt hormones. Eat a wide variety of antioxidant-rich foods to help lower your inflammation. So remember, hormone balance is complex and individualized. So what works for one person might not work for another. However, there are some basic ways to get set on the right track. It's essential to start with a holistic approach where we take a look at what we are eating and how it impacts our health. Having explored tips to help you find balance with your hormones, let's now shift our focus to our 3 core principles. Number 1, focus on whole foods first. We should start choosing whole food options and less processed foods packaged with sodium, fat, and sugar. A simple way to start this is by reshaping your plate using the plate method. Number 2 is focusing on a balance of macronutrients. When we say balance, we mean, does every meal and snack that you consume throughout the day contain carbs, proteins, and fat? Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of these macronutrients will keep you fuller and longer. Most people will feel their best while fueling their busy days and activities with 40% carbohydrates, 30% fats, and 30% protein. Please understand also that those are individual breakdowns that may vary. And then number 3, limit the amount of processed carbohydrates and sugars. The AHA recommends no more than 6 teaspoons, which is about 24 grams, for women, and 9 teaspoons, or about 36 grams, for men. Now, this part is mind-blowing. The average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. That is 46 teaspoons per day, or over 160 grams of sugar. So it's not surprising. Sugar is super addictive and feels hidden and is hidden in a lot of our foods. You want to check it for every product you find in a package. So what's your biggest takeaway? I hope by now this talk gives you a simple but clearer picture on what factors influence our hormones. Start by asking yourself, what am I doing now and what can I do to improve my hormone health? Often clients will tell me their health or weight runs in the family. And yes, although our genetic makeup is fixed, our daily actions can move us in a direction that promotes better health. What I find most often is that the habits people have been accustomed to are what runs in the family, not necessarily their weight. So we are all able to change our own habits. What is one small step that you can take right now? Maybe think about that and jot it down. So if you're looking to hear more about how this program can change your life, tune into Nutrition Made Simple podcast. You can also contact me, Amy at CrossFitUnderdogUnion.com. Check out the website, www.crossfitunderdogunion.com. No slashes, no dashes, and see how we can help you as well. If you were interested in looking at nutrition coaching with us, here's what we would have for our standard accountability. I currently have 3 spots available, and then I'll be implementing a wait list. So if you are interested in nutrition coaching or would like to book a free 20-minute session, certainly feel free, send me an email, or if you go on the website and see a book an appointment here, go ahead and click that and we can have a phone call for a 20-minute fact-finding session to see if our program is right for you. Thanks so much for joining us today.